everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I want to apologize for not uploading a video for the last 2 weeks. We are currently in the process of getting a diagnosis for my son, my oldest son. Nothing is wrong health-wise. It's just there's been some issues that have arisen over the last couple years. We've talked with the doctor, we've talked with the therapist, and we're in the process of trying to get a diagnosis. So as always, my family comes first. So if there's something that I am not uploading right away, that's why. Let me get this out of the way. Today, I want to talk about sinking funds. Sinking funds are something that admittedly within the first couple years of us budgeting, we didn't add in sinking funds, and you can bet it was a very big mistake. I think that sinking funds are probably one of the more confusing parts about budgeting. Again, I'm just basing this on the fact that I get a lot of questions about sinking funds, so I think that some people are confused on it. Once you get the hang of sinking funds, it can be really, really easy, and you can kind of see where it will help your budget. Now, to start, a sinking fund is basically a really easy definition. It's just a small savings account that you're using to save up for something you know is coming. It's different than an emergency fund because, again, it's something you know that is coming. An emergency fund is used for emergencies alone, such as last year our water heater broke. That came after a couple other expenses where we had kind of depleted our emergency fund. But you know, your water heater breaking, you needing to replace the suspension on your car all of a sudden because, you know, it went. Those kind of things are emergencies, whereas something like saving up for Christmas or any other birthdays, any other holidays, saving up for back to school, saving up for needing to replace your brakes or your tires, those kind of things are things that you can kind of anticipate and know that they're coming in the future. So that's the main difference. Sinking funds, you know in advance that they're going to come, whereas emergency funds are just something out of the blue, you just didn't even see it coming. You know, another example is that roughly 4 times a year I know we have a propane bill coming. So I try to save up for it over the course of the year. So I know there's a couple other sinking funds that I need to start saving for, and I figured this would be a perfect time to discuss sinking funds. Okay, so in our year at a glance, ordering these wipes is something I can do easily from the month's budget. AAA, our AAA expense, again, along with our propane, our trash, all those are things that I know are coming up and I save for them. So AAA, propane, trash, they're all from our non-monthly expense sinking fund. The septic tank being pumped in June is something I've been saving up for over the year. Vision exams, again, are a sinking fund I've been saving up for over the year. The sinking funds that I want to start are these instrument cleanings. My oldest plays a trumpet and my middle plays the clarinet, and the trumpet needs to be cleaned in June because starting in July is band camp and that goes through to August, and then it's marching band with parades and then football, and if they make playoffs we're still going into November, and then it's concert season. So June is like the only month I can get his trumpet cleaned, and then my middle son, I can get his clarinet cleaned, you know, all the way up until basically August. It takes about 2 weeks, so I don't want to do it, you know, I don't want to send it in 2 weeks before school starts, but I know that that's something coming up in August. The other thing that I want to start saving up for is back to school. I send 3 kids to school, and they're not cheap. So we're going to try to figure out how much I want to save up for their back to school stuff. A couple others I have on the post-it that I just took out were car registration. I pay for 2 years. That's going to be about 80 bucks, but I'm not going to do that one right away. And brakes. I'm still up in the air about this one. I know I'm going to need brakes before my inspection comes in June, but I'm fairly certain my husband said he would do it himself. We could save a couple $100 doing it himself, but he would need to buy a tool. That tool alone is going to be a couple $100, so this time my brakes might be about the same as if I were taking it into the shop, but the next time that I need brakes, we'll be saving a lot of money. I go through brakes quickly. We live very rurally. I don't know if you noticed on my meal planning shop with me kind of vlog, we live very rurally and we live on top of a mountain, and I have to go down the mountain every single time I go somewhere. The mountain's a mile long and it's like 1,000 feet in elevation change. It's a pretty steep mountain. So I go through brakes very quickly. So I think the brakes and the car registration I'm going to hold off on for now, but the back to school fund and the instrument cleaning fund, I need to start. It is the beginning of March, but we only get paid monthly, and so I'm running out of time to start saving for these. A number of you have been interested in my budget workbook. This is one of the pages in my budget workbook. I don't leave it in my budget planner because most of the sinking funds, when I started filming again this year, I'd already calculated those sinking funds. But this is one of the pages in that workbook where it walks you through how to save up for sinking funds. So we're gonna get to that right now. Feels so awkward. So what am I saving for? Well, one of them is a back to school fund, and the other one is instrument cleaning. And I'm gonna put trumpet. My handwriting is so bad right now, and I need something soft to write on. And cleaning the clarinet. I have never paid to clean a clarinet. I've only paid to clean a trumpet, and I can't spell clarinet as I'm talking. Instrument cleaning. So I don't know if the clarinet is going to cost more. Again, I can't, C-L-A-R-I-N-E-T. Don't talk and write at the same time. I don't know if it's going to cost more or about the same. So how much do I need to save for the instrument, for the trumpet? I know I need $190. Last time it was $190. It's going to be $190 this time. When do I need to save by? I'm going to say, let's say June 15th. Because that'll give me an extra paycheck to pull from, and then I can bring it in even on that payday. When's that payday? 15th is on a Monday, so yeah, I can drop it off that day. How many paychecks are in between then and now? So because we're paid monthly, we have March paycheck, April paycheck, March, April, May, June. So 4 paychecks. If you are paid weekly, you would count up the number of weeks. If you're paid bi-weekly, every 2 weeks or whatever, you would put that amount here. But because we're paid monthly and there's 4 months in between, I know there's 4 paychecks. How much I need to set aside is the amount I need divided by the number of paychecks. So I need to save $47.50 each paycheck to have $190 saved up by June 15th to clean the trumpet, so I'm not pulling from the month's budget. The clarinet, I'm gonna estimate the same, but because I don't need this saved up until like August, let's say August 1st. So I'm really only going to have 5 paychecks now because we haven't hit our August paycheck. I haven't even looked to see when they go back to school. They may go back to school early, but if I save it up by August 1st, there should be plenty of time for them to clean it before they go back. So the $190 that I need to clean the clarinet divided by 5 paychecks is $38. So you see how it's a little bit, it's very, very small amount from each paycheck rather than, an entirely large bill coming back to back to back. Okay, back to school fund. I want this saved up by August 30th. No, because I still end up, without fail, whether the kids are ready on time, they have everything they need for school, without fail, there's always 1 or 2 teachers for each child. And for the older 2, the elementary school's entirely different, but there's at least 1 or 2 teachers for my boys in the middle school and the high school that come up with a random thing that they tell them on like the first and second day of school that they need, and then I'm busy hunting down that random thing. A calculator was the bane of my existence 2 years ago when my oldest was in 7th grade. Let's say, I'm going to say they should start before Labor Day. They always do. So I'm going to say September 15th. That'll give me a smidgen into that last September paycheck. I remember spending a lot of money on school stuff still in September. Okay, how much do I need to save for this? My oldest has a backpack and a lunch pail that he has been using for the last couple years. Same thing with my middle. One of the things that I wound up buying later in the school year this year for my middle child was a heavy duty backpack. He thought the one he used last year would get him through. It still wound up, and it was a decent sized backpack, but it still wound up being too small. So we upgraded backpacks at a very hefty cost, but he's got a backpack and he's got a lunch pail that he uses. So those two should not need to be replaced. They both have water bottles that they've been using that they shouldn't need to be replaced either. They will need some clothing. My oldest, he's going to need new jeans and new shorts. He's growing like a weed. He's now in adult sizes. Same thing with shoes. So let's figure about $150 for him for clothing, shoes, and another $50 or so between loose leaf paper and any folders he might need, any replacement pens he may need because they run out of ink, that kind of stuff. So we're going to figure $200 for him, roughly. This is a very rough number off the top of my head. My middle child, he's not quite into adult clothing yet, but maybe $125 for clothes for him and shoes. Let's just do $200 even across the board, because I know my $200 each across the board, because I know my daughter's going to need a different backpack and she's going to need a lunch pail and so we're going to say $600, so $200 each. And if I wind up spending less on my daughter because she's still in elementary school, that should give me enough rollover to spend a little bit more on the other two. So how many paychecks are between now and then? There are 6. September is 3 months after June. There are 7. 600 divided by 7 paychecks is $85.71. I'm going to round up and say 86. Because $85.71, no, does not sound good. How I do this then is that I'll come over here and I fill this out now. So instrument cleaning and back to school. And I'm going to block off months that have already passed and months that are beyond where I need to save from. I'm going to notate to myself, because this is the first month I'm doing it, that I need to save up 86 each month. Only 38 from the July paycheck for the clarinet cleaning, but the other months I need to save up $85.50 for the clarinet and the trumpet. So there it is for you, just real quick, you know, how you calculate your sinking funds, how you can save up for sinking funds. And again, remember, sinking funds are something that you know is coming up. So again, it's not an emergency like a water heater or a surprise repair on your car, or you know, maybe your dishwasher broke or something like that. It is something that you know is coming up. Like, I know every fall they go back to school. I know every summer I need to get these instruments cleaned. And so these are things I can save up for in advance. I hope that's helpful to you. I hope that breaks up some of the confusion that revolves around sinking funds. If you want this page, it is in my budget workbook. It is currently available up on Etsy. If you do happen to purchase this and download it, let me know how you like it. Let me know if there's anything that you would want to see included. Maybe there's some things I'm missing, because like I said, I created this for what I felt was missing from my current budget binders and what I thought was missing from other budget binders and budget workbooks. So I know what works for me doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but if there's something that you're really kind of missing, let me know and I can easily create it. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It's the best compliment I have. It lets me know that you like this type of content and I can keep creating more content. If you want to see more of my videos, please click that subscribe button, and until next time, bye.